Alright, welcome back everyone. So today we have a problem from the Tournament of Towns. And this problem has n children are standing in a line and there's this procedure. So the line is split into something ascending order of their heights. So you split them into increasing blocks and you reverse the heights of the people in each block. And you want to eventually stabilize. Oh, this is very cute. So for example, if I have okay, I'll just roll it right on random thing. 2, 7, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, or something like this. Then I cut here, 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 and then I reverse each of these. So now I have 6, 5, 4, 1, 3, 7, 2, and then I take the ascending blocks. There's one here, 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 here. So those don't change, but these guys do. 6, 3, 2, 5, 4, 1, 7, and now so the 7 and 6 are fixed at this point. They're never going to change. And now I have this 3, 2, 5, 4, 1, cut, cut, cut. So this only just switches 5 and 2. Cut, cut, cut. So one's kind of one. Actually, sorry, one is actually fixed as well. I might as well note that one is going to sit here forever now. So we'll just have it. We'll not pay attention to it. And I just want 3, 5, 2, 4. So 5, 3, 4, 2. Cut here. 4, 3, 2, 5. And that's an example of the complete procedure. And the claim is that this procedure always terminates in exactly at most n minus 1 steps, because once you reach the all descending state, yeah, well, once it's in the all descending state, it'll stay there. So I think the thing that feels most inductive about this problem is that, like for example, if you get the number 1 at the, you don't necessarily get 1 at the very end at the start, but 1 in particular is going to move around. Let's see. Like if I follow the trajectory of the number, this is not a great example actually, because the 1 moves to the end of the very first step. Yeah, actually this example sucks because 7 and 1 both just stabilize right away. And I want an example where 1 takes a little longer to move. Because I want to study 1. It's a number for which I understand how it behaves. So I need to come up with a new example that will satisfy the criteria I want. And that example is going to be, I don't know, what do I want? Let's have like a 1 here. And we want to make sure it doesn't change too quickly. So let's put like 5, 2, 3. Thank you, Pseudomaze, for the follow. 5, 2, 3. I want to do 5, 3, 4 too. I think that's a little more generic somehow. And let me make these numbers a little bigger. We'll put 7 here and like 5, 6 here. Here. Okay, here's an example. We'll run this through and see what. Pay attention to the number 1. So the number 1, it always cuts to the left. Like to the left, that 1 can't change, and it always grabs at least 1 number to the right. In this case, it grabs exactly 1. So this is the block that has 1, and here there's another cut. Something else is happening. And the interesting thing is within each of the blocks, they... Interesting. Okay. Okay, I mean, I'll follow it through. So, I should actually write it out. 7. This one switches, and the 1 moves over. So it leaves a. You know, I want a bigger example. 7. So after this, I always get a block that's descending, a number 1, and then something happens to the right of it. We don't really know what. And then the 1 switches here. Uh, 6, 5, 8. It's like 6, 8, 5, 7, 4, 1. 3, 2. So it moves like 1 by 1. That's fine. So do I feel like, I'm trying to think, if I delete the 1, what kind of things change? Evan, how do I suggest the problem? I take problem suggestions at the start of the stream. You use the problem suggestion and yeah, it's under rewards. I should write that up actually, an explanation of like how the system works. So I need a time bound of n minus 1. And basically, like, somehow after the first move already, like, something should have decreased by 1. I'm not sure exactly what. But somehow, like, from the second position is, like, not a generic position in some sense. And I'm trying to understand why. What changes after just one operation? I'm trying to. So if you have a 4, I'm trying to imagine. Maybe I want to think about an example where that 4 is bigger. Like this 4 is like 9 or something. And we can just put 4 somewhere here. 4 2 4 3, something like that. That feels a little. I also wonder if like the number of. Okay, I should at least For sharing ideas, if you haven't done the problem already, you're welcome to share whatever you come up with for that question. Yeah. I'll code that into Nightbot. Yeah. Yeah, so I was gonna say I really should also just think about how many inversions there are. Child 1 ends on the right after n-1 steps. Okay. Let's see if these work. Request. Okay, cool. Those work. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna say, I should also just think about the number of inversions because it does, like, decrease. Alright, there's, like, a monovariant that guarantees quadratic time in the sense that if I count the number of pairs for which, like that, I is j. For every block, the number of it wipes out like x choose 2 inversions or whatever. Like for a block of signed k. I agree inversions is definitely too weak. Like as written. So by inversion, I mean I'm counting the number of pairs of indices for which the left number is bigger than the right number. Like an inversion would refer to something like this to here. So the left number is bigger than the right. And or sorry, increase, yeah. The number of inversions keeps increasing because, for example, this 7 to 8 flips and now so-and-so, while the stuff outside the blocks doesn't change much. Like, between blocks doesn't matter, but at each block, you know, flip, flip. Yeah, but I think as written, that is definitely not good enough. It will give you a bound of, like, n choose 2, which is just the bubble sort bound, and that's quadratic in n. We want something that's linear in n. Consider two number of adjacent inversions. There's no way that works, right? Oh. Yeah, the problem with that is that, like, for example, we had an example, the very first example we did only had, like, a few blocks to start, like this, and it still took a while. Like, it took all n-1 moves. So it cannot possibly be the case that just saying inversions decreases is fine. Thank you, JKLASG, for the follow. Jeez, it's almost 10 already. How long have I been? Today is not one of them. Today is not a productive day. It's one of those days where I can't do anything. You can reduce this. Can you reduce this to the 0-1 case? What's the 0-1 case? Okay, so the technique where you take the permutation. So you consider things less than k and larger than k. Yeah, I agree the number of inversions should increase, but that doesn't help. Like, it only gives you a bound of, like, quadratic-ish in n for one. Each step will change any 0-1 to a 1-0. Oh no, you're talking adjacent ones. Oh, yeah, that's not true. We had an example that showed that. Following the chat is hard, okay? So I'll at least change every 0-1 to a 1-0. Okay, so what does that 0-1 thing do? So, pick a threshold k. So every time there is a number less than k next to a number greater than k, that will flip. And so for example, if I look at just one, like one is the smallest, so that number will bubble through. I wonder if what do I do with this? Okay. Oh, is it true? Oh my god. Okay, so fix a k, and my claim is that eventually it will sort. Okay, I understand. So our strategy is going to be we'll go to fix a threshold k and like ignore a lot of the details. By which I mean, I just have a bunch of zeros and ones. So 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. For example, and my claim is that eventually it's oh, you're not guaranteed strictly 0, 1 goes to 1, 0? Really? Right. Yeah, so we proved this for every k. And so it's like, it'll eke out the details. And, okay, so the... interesting. So the way the threshold thing works is, I claim that for every threshold k, if I pick a threshold k, and you view it just like small and big. Alright, so you have a threshold and then you look at small numbers, big numbers. Analyze the process there. My claim is that it will sort for that threshold. And if it's sorted for every threshold, then it's sorted period, is the idea. Which is something I have not seen before, but now that I've heard it, sounds really good. The problem is with the thing about the threshold is that we don't know exactly when the blocks are. For example, this could be a block or the block could end here. But let me first play with an example just so I have a sense of what's going on. So we're just going to make some cuts. And then 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. And then some more cuts happen. I'll make a cut there. Oh, sorry, there shouldn't be a cut there. What is the process? It's the same thing. I think we're leaving it ambiguous, actually. So it's like, you should make cuts such that you never have like 1 before 0 in a block. But, we don't, like, if there's a bunch of consecutive ones, we don't make a strong distinction. Yeah, bigger blocks should be better. I agree. Changing stuff after picking a threshold here. So... I wonder if you can argue that, like, can you just induct, actually? Just say, like, if you have a 1 at the end, it will always turn into a 0. And once you have a 0 at the end, it's always in its own block. Right? I need the timing. No, it's like I claim after one step, I get a 0 at the end. Then I can delete that 0 and induct down on the remaining thing. Does that work? Do I not get a 0 at the end? Do I not? How can I not have a 0 at the end after one step? Oh, sorry, you're right. Never mind. Right, it could cut somewhere else. Okay, that's fine. So treat, ones as zeros. Treat as zeros and ones with 0 for less than k and 1 for greater than k. Okay, never mind. So yeah, let's look at that worst case. Let me think this through. Dun, dun. So 1 0 1 1 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, so that's an example. After the kth step, the decimal sequence on... Yeah. Thank you, astrophysicist, for the follow. Indices of each zero is at least indices of corresponding index or something. From the original numbers. So what happens is I pick a threshold, I fix a threshold k. In this case, k equals 3. So the smallest three numbers will be 0, and the larger three numbers will be 1. Inversions indices are the same. Let's show k 0 from the right jumps over at least. I see. Yeah, yeah, because it feels like I can trace the path of each zero, right? Like this zero is here, this zero is there. Yeah, so that will do it. Let me verify that things are. All right. So the point is that because the zeros are the lines are sort of spaced apart after a while. Yeah. So if I have, yeah. So that just works then, right? Like my claim is the zeros are at least move as quickly as those red lines. You can't fall behind because if you're on the line, then there's a 1 in front of you, so you jump in front of it. And then this will work. So this is drawn for k equals 3 and n equals 3, but the analogous proof should work for any n. And wow, okay. That is a tricky result. What the heck? So okay, strictly speaking, the lines should be like this. What's another example of this technique? I wouldn't know. Hector Walla might know. It sounds like he's used this technique before. I've never seen this. Oh, but this is cool. IOI 2009 archery. Gotcha. what just happened? I got another problem to add to the IOI unit. Honestly, too, because I probably add Archer. So, okay, let me draw it with a bigger example just so that people can see it. So, here's like 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then on the first turn, maybe this switches. And then on the next turn, maybe you switch here, and then this one switches a bit faster than it should. And then, can I still get equality if I do it this way? 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Actually, let me draw the tight example. I think it's more confusing if I don't. This is gonna be a big table. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, and then there's ones everywhere else. Okay, and so this is for threshold. So I've picked k equals 3 and 3, 5, and for this threshold, here we are. And the claim is that the zeros move at least as quickly as this line. So the rightmost zero starts always at least at index 3 and always advances at least 1. The next zero doesn't necessarily move right away, but once the other zero is sufficiently... once there's a gap, then it always has to advance 1 at a time as well. It could potentially jump ahead, as in like... Actually, this one, it can't really jump. So cut here, cut. Yeah, it's actually hard for me to get it to jump, but... So it advances at least at the rate of those lines. And because of that, it necessarily ends with all the zeros at the far right after so many steps. This is true. So for every index k, the numbers are sorted in this way, and therefore, by varying k, it implies the entire thing is sorted. Incidentally, this is not too... I think if you think about k equals 1 is an easy way to think about it. Like, 1 is always moving at least one step every time. So even if 1 starts on the far left, then it eventually makes its way all the way to the far right. Then if you think about 2, you just think about 1 and 2. And the idea is rather than doing... Like, I was trying to like do what's common in Olympiad math, where you like delete the number 1 altogether. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You just treat 1 and 2 at the same time. And they move... As a pair, they move quickly enough that they will also finish. And then this works for 1, 2 replaced by general k. And it does give the n-1 bound because the time... This thing is always exactly n-1 steps. Can someone who remembers that quote put it in quote log? You can listen to the video and see what I said. Was that funny or something? I didn't mean to be funny. I was just like... In Math Olympiad, the common thing we do is we like delete 1 and induct down. And hope cross our fingers is exactly the same. And the idea is this time instead, rather than delete 1 and then delete 2, then you treat it as a pair, right? If you think about it without the threshold trick, what it's like 1 and 2 are moving together, and you think of them both at the same time, and you don't pay too much attention to which one is 2, which one is 1. Like once 1 starts moving, 2 will eventually start moving. Like, not eventually. 2 will start moving pretty quickly as well afterwards, and catch up. So even if you start with 1, 2, like that changes to... Or if you start with 2, 1, 1 moves and then 2 follows along with it, is the way you should think about it. And this threshold is, I think, a really elegant way of saying it, but well, threshold idea is just good, actually. I won't dispute that.